Yokonosnatsuka, here with the next video from Rayleigh. Sony hates Bloodborne jerks.
Here we go again.
We kick off things with the classic Liongate intro. Copyright strike inbound, get your views while they're hot. Welcome to New Zealand, land of the sheep, and also post-Return of the King cinematic era, where quite literally the next movie they made was about killer sheep. Some would say it was actually a step up in terms of cinematic masterpieces. A man in a wool sweater is actually rounding up a flock with some younglings and a dog that's somehow emotionally outmatched by a sheep. From a distance, Mr. Edge watches ominously as then he limps away. And then we get the title card, Black Sheep, or in reality, I don't know, this is like some Resident Sheeple sort of deal. Mr.
What is the man eating where sheep? What did you give me? Sheep. It's a license problem. Yeah, good point. That sucks. Rayleigh, this was your pick, right? Just double checking. This is a great rom-com video. Okay, shooters come to this. Listen, Reavers and Sony will never part the Bloodborne stream. Well, they suck. They suck.
Mr. Edge then sneaks up on a sheep with an axe and apparently offs it. Another youngling then shows up on a four-wheeler to find Dudley has been brutally unalived by a complete weirdo wearing him. Literally wearing his skin, blood and all. Angus.
What?
You doing all right there, man? Got some demons, perhaps? A lady then appears to tell them, hey, your dad just died, which honestly kind of feels like a side note.
Wait, what? What just happened? Who killed who and what killed what? Sheep? What? Huh? Someone's arms are a good thing. So, yeah, hooray, boom booms. Yeah, I'm confused too and scared. I never heard about this movie. Me neither. It seems like one of those random horror B movies. Like something about that. There was like one about a turkey, and there was a wheel, and then there was a cookie, and then there was a snowman. There was a lot of weird horror movies. I've never heard of this one. The elder brother murdered a sheep, wore it to scare him. Oh, okay. So, older brother... okay, for whatever reason, I thought the guy was saying that the older brother was murdered by a sheep, and he got skinned, and the sheep was wearing his skin. That's what I thought happened for a second. I was confused and scared.
The skin wearing. 15 years later, our main man
This
Henry
is still not
is
any better.
traumatized and trapped in a taxi, surrounded by all the sheep. He calls his therapist, completely melted down over the experience, while the chillest taxi driver on Earth just sort of waits it out, probably because he's being paid. Eventually, though, they pass a meet his murder car. Cue the hippies hopping fences like it's their day job. Actually, they could use one of those. They, once you work a day job, you tend to kind of view life a little different.
Sheep.
Meanwhile, a small plane lands.
Yes. Well, apparently this is a random horror B movie, New Zealand horror. The sheep. Yay! Why killed the sheep?
Pops Angus. Yes, the Angus from earlier who wore a sheepskin. While Henry then
Worst
rolls up
person
after
ever.
his taxi ride, he tells the driver to just sit there and wait, and he already owes him like $431.70, I guess, U-bucks perhaps, which I guess is Kiwi for the meter is actually going to still be running. It is only in this late hour that I have no idea what New Zealand money is actually called. Inside the house, I'm beginning to think this really is Resident Evil Sheep Farm Edition. Mrs. Mac greets him with a shotgun to the back, which again, luckily for him, it is just a shotgun. And at the pre-launch meeting later on, Angus and a few other workers are prepping for some vague, science-y farming thing. It's a bit obscure as...
Why were they starting to dance? That was weird. Yeah, the star. So the sheep apocalypse movie.
to what they're actually doing, but trust me, when we do figure out what they're doing, it is just as horrible as you might imagine. Henry then walks up from the woods, which nobody saw him apparently, as his therapist allegedly said this would be a good idea for him to return home. Angus is at first surprised to see him, as then they go back to the house and divvy up the inheritance that their father left them in the will. Angus then bleats at him, scaring the holy hell out of him. Also, is that a Toyota pickup? Actually, it's not. It's a Hilux.
I can be a sheepy. Except I choose to be a goatee. I am the goat. Meh. Meh. Sheepy goat. Yeah. What is the difference between sheep and goat? Is it like cows and buffalo? I wonder. The questions I have.
You can tell from the B pillar behind the door. I believe this to be a N60 or within the N60 generation. These range from 1997 to 2005, and this is fairly unique because even though it's not too large of a truck, it has space.
Too bad Trucker Man left. He could have car-fact me here, or car-knowledged me, or put some kind of input on car stuff.
It's for actually a dual battery setup that could actually help you run it better, I guess, out in the middle of nowhere longer by giving you more juice to start the truck. Like, let's say, it's cold, you could start it. You can also switch it over to a solid axle fairly easily, giving you an even better off-road capability despite it already literally being god tier. The smallest of the engine sizes were actually a 2-liter IRZ-E with a 2.4 liter next, which is standard in some Tacomas.
I know none of these
era,
words.
Up to a 2.7 liter, which are all, by the way, 4-cylinder.
When will he be back? He went off. Basically he went to visit his mother. She's off for she's a traveling nurse, so he doesn't get to see her too often. So yeah. But yeah, he's not going to be back for the rest of the stream. Yeah.
With the largest being the untouchable, absolutely unkillable demigod 3.4 liter V6, which actually I have in my 2000 Tacoma right now. While not winning any records for power and speed, this would actually give them a range of around 142 horsepower to 190 horsepower, which was great for these little trucks. The 2 liter was fairly standard in Australia.
Just
so
count the sheep that kill everyone.
It's a 2 liter. Man, I need to pick up one of these before Whistling Diesel destroys literally all of them. I get that that's his thing, but bro, okay, Toyota's.
Anybody want to buy a Ford Thunderbird? The Trucker Man's trying to sell the Thunderbird that he has.
Supremacy, baby, that's all I can say. Back to the hippies. One of them, Grant, then steals biohazard material from, like, that area with nobody recognizing him or even seeing him because, as he puts it, logic is for carnivores. Protein gang rise up. Scientists then chase him, but they have a massive problem, and that presents itself as they've never jogged before in their life or done any physical activity, so it's not gonna work. In the woods, Grant almost immediately drops the container, and in doing so, he releases something that seems dead at first, but actually isn't. Looking around, he gets attacked by a mutant lamb and has to go.
What the? Okay, that's an easy. That's an interesting thing I paused on. Wait, this mutant sheep was in the. Why did they want to steal the? You brought this on yourself. This is your fault. You deserve to die.
Go full-on Ash Williams with a stick trying to get it off of himself, but unfortunately for him, Lamb 1, Grant 0. So we see there is some actual genetic tampering presented here. This creature was clearly being contained for a reason, but its attitude has shifted towards aggression. Genetically, these sheep have been tampered with to create a version of their own replication. This replication
Why did you go up to the scientist and steal the tube of the mutant sheep thingy? Why did you do this? You deserve death. You deserve death. I'm sorry. I don't drive, I'm sorry.
To be the transference of actual cellular material, which seems to be hinting that the cells themselves can spread in the body. However, I believe it to be a little more in line with the genes that are causing an issue, which we will kind of discuss. And I think I actually have a way to explain this later when we see what is actually happening to make this a reality. And let me tell you, brother, someone needs to check on the Kiwis because why? Back at the farm, the brothers are splitting up that inheritance, and Angus, now a self-proclaimed agricultural scientist, as he puts it, claims he's revolutionizing farming, which totally isn't ominous at all when he says this. Yes, Angus, do tell how you're revolutionizing it. Please speak into this microphone and with a therapist nearby, along with a group of cops. Henry then gets some fancy shear.
That is probably gonna be the end of the world. Some stupid PETA hippie is gonna unleash an apocalyptic creature because what is it? Love all creature thingies in their made in their evil something blah blah blah. Yeah.
Out while Miss Mac butchers a rabbit on the table. Also,
Ow!
yes, you probably are interested. The meter is still running outside. Elsewhere,
funny.
the infected lamb then joins the flock and starts spreading its bitey energy. Crystal Chick, which her name is actually Experience, but I am not going to be calling her that, gets picked up by Henry and Tucker. They find a sheep
Stop
with a bloody
hurting
nose
the
from being
sheep.
bitten earlier, as Tucker says, well, let's see what it's made of, which is usually how every horror movie ever has started. Luckily, Tucker is locked and loaded Brides of Christ, which I have no idea how they run things in New Zealand. Like, is it common to have a handheld? Are the Kiwis staying strapped or getting clapped on the reg? At least by sheep, or are they clapping the sheep? That's what this movie is heavily on. Meanwhile, Grant is looking real rough post-bite after some time has passed. For some reason, the rabbit then goes close enough to him, I guess not seeing him as a problem, as then he grabs it and eats it raw. Looking real Gollum-like there, brother.
Ultimately, you just got rabies. Yeah, I think this is something rabies will do to you, so yeah, he got rabies.
As we can see, this infection is beginning to have several effects on Grant. First and foremost, it has changed his proclivities towards eating meat. He's now completely cool with it, which is a bit strange as that's not really the MO of sheep in the first place. But we can see the body plan concerning anatomy of a sheep is starting to take over. Physically, his eyes are changing to that of a sheep quite clearly as the pupil is beginning to turn rectangular, and the iris itself has shifted in coloring to what is standardly found within sheep.
I didn't realize.
The question is, however,
So where's
why
sheep?
is it changing currently whereas other areas aren't? Well, we'll get to that when we discuss the infection and how it actually progresses. Crystal Chick then re-enters the woods and calls out to him as he descends into carnivorous madness.
Bah?
This is the fate of all vegans, you see, whether they tell you or not. Also, quick question, bad time to bring it up. That
Okay.
meter's still running, right?
So, he is becoming a zombie. Apparently he's becoming a sheep. Where sheep?
Tucker then teaches Crystal Chick how to
Inverse
use a
of
force
werewolf.
multiplier as he tricks her into handing it over because she doesn't know how the safety works. Tucker is a literal alpha Chad. Then we cut to a guy making a meal, rip to him, as a sheep promptly tears them apart. Henry, Tucker, and Crystal Chick then find the carnage as Crystal evaluates the feng shui of the area, and it's completely off,
What?
which according to her is the most disturbing aspect. Hearing something, they then stumble across a snarling sheep that tries to Kool-Aid man its way through a door. Henry confesses he's got
Damn.
a sheep phobia, which has been relevant the entire time, as they finally shoot the sheep in the face, which at first does nothing. The second shot finally does the trick, though.
Well, if the other two didn't have a sheep phobia before, I think you developed one now.
Outside, a whole flock's just kind of sheeping around, but no one can tell which one is infected. Now, good place to start is probably with the one that's trying to bite you. That one's likely infected. Crystal says Henry's chi is all off, and he's apparently a tree now. Okay. As Tucker then honks from the truck, realizing that they don't have time to sit there and talk about the moon and the stars and the taproots. Taking off, oh god, the sheeps are coming from inside the truck. It immediately starts going after Tucker's throat, as Henry then grabs a chainsaw, but once he starts it, he
Chainsaw!
uses it instantly. Total classic. As Tucker then
Why? How could you just drop the chainsaw like that, you idiot? Okay, so you're going to become a were-sheep now?
gets bitten, crawling around to the back of the truck. This leaves the sheep in the driver's seat. And because it's a
Aw,
sheep
poor
driving the
dog.
truck, it then drives
What?
off the cliff. Seriously. Also, not sure, but when they had to film this, someone did have to launch that dog too. Crystal Chick then says, it's a lovely view. Coincidentally, this is actually where Henry's dad fell off the cliff chasing a sheep. A nearby
What is this movie? What is going on? You could come versus sheep. Oh my goodness. Why was the sheep driving? Yeah, this is definitely reminding me of some cheesy horror B movies I've seen back in
sheep
the
then
day.
just farts because of course it does.
I haven't
as
seen
Tucker
this
then
one
scares
before,
it
but
off
this
momentarily. The
is
squad then
reminding
plans
me
to
of
go warn
them.
Angus so Henry can finally piece out of this entire hellhole. Angus meanwhile then spots the taxi still racking up some U-bucks at over 1,000 at this point. That is currently, I believe, $590.67 in American dollars.
Wait! He literally just left the taxi guy to stay there, and he maxed out. You owe him over $1,000. Oh no. The movie sounds like it was made on a meth bender. Yeah, I agree with you. Hi, Iron John. Welcome. What's criminal? That's criminal. Yeah.
So that $2 million check from earlier is actually $1.81 million. Put that bad boy in the S&P 500 in 30 years, you'll have yourself roughly $24 million. That's if you leave it alone. Or you can live off the dividends every month and rake in about $8,410, which gives you around $101,000 a year. So if you get a small loan of $1 million, you get like $50,000 a year. Invest heavily in Enron. Sell all stocks of Google. It's virtually worthless. The scientists in return missing one guy and then send another to dump the bio waste into that pit. Surprise though, there's two sheep there. He barks as if that's gonna work.
Suspicious sheep.
Chomped and then charged. The sheep giveth and the sheep taketh away. Grant emerges from the.
Why are these sheep so smart? They just stood there like normal sheep and then they attack. Instead of just plain out just attacking straight up. The smart sheep, bad sheep.
Forrest mid-transformation looking straight up ovine as he sees Angus's Range Rover, which you're in New Zealand. You could have had a Land Cruiser, the absolute buffoon. This is like the area to have Land Cruisers versus Range Rovers. Range Rovers are just the Jeeps of the UK. Complete crap. Angus then honks to get him out of the way as Grant then mumbles about Frankensheep, as for some reason, Angus then offers up his succulent hand as recompense while telling him to get off his land. Saying this, Grant then bites Angus, infecting him. Meanwhile, the trio.
He gave him the finger gun, like in the Yu-Gi-Oh! For kids. And it got bit. Oh my goodness. Do not call for Trucker Man. He will not come. He has been summoned. Oh, wait. Mom has a cat now. How dare! Bionicle cannot cause such rated onset, Okay, now I understand why you said Trucker Man. I didn't know he was there. Trucker Man, can you hear me? Buy food when you get home. I want some takeout. I don't know what I want, but I just want something. Get food when you come back. Yeah. Sheep.
Trio and their canine pal are being watched by the sheep. Tucker's foot is bleeding and turning into a hoof. Lovely. So finally, we can talk about some more science. I know, you've been absolutely jonesing.
Wait.
So as we can see, phenotypic traits begin to present.
Okay, how does the spread of the sheep virus thing work? I'm guessing where they are bitten is where the sheepness starts growing the most, and it slowly goes throughout the whole body. So for instance, this guy right here, he's got the brain of a sheep because he was bitten around his ear, so he's all like dumb face. And the brother was bitten around the ankle, so he only has a hoof foot now. Cut off the foot. There you go. Is Trucklemon here in the room with us? No, he is not. That's why he was text. That's why he's messages in chat. He's actually, if you want to know where Trucker Man is, he is in chat with you. Bump, bump, bump. He's right behind you. Ah!
Themselves shortly after infection in the area that the bite has taken place, which shows what we are dealing with. Given that Grant was bitten in the face, specifically the ear first, his presentation of symptoms take place in that area first.
Oh my God,
was
he's
bitten on the foot, so as we could expect, the symptoms.
That is literally the exact same thing I just got done saying.
Symptoms begin here first. When we look at his foot, we see the structure of it has begun to change, but it's still very much so kind of like a human-looking foot with sheep attributes. I mean, minus the hooves. The hooves have formed from altering the lacuna of the nails in the nail bed of the toes. Tucker's foot is showing that he's beginning to favor walking on hooves also, rather than walking on his feet in the standard plantigrade structuring. The hair follicles of the foot have also been altered to produce this wiry, woolly growth, as opposed to the standard fine hairs that we could expect from humans, which as always, again, we have just as many hair follicles as apes. Again, ours is just incredibly fine. Anyhow, so what does this seem to suggest?
We are the human monkey. There is nothing that can logically explain it. This movie is smoking meth. Yeah, there's whatever this guy has to compare this to. This is not a logic thing. The closest thing would be werewolfism, except with sheep, were-sheep. Yeah, except with were-sheep, still not a thing. Doesn't exist. Yeah.
Somehow, the genetics of the goat have
Truckerman here
been
is
contaminating
with
what
us.
I would have to imagine are the Hox genes. The Hox genes are the genes responsible for directing body structures and designate what sort of body structure will actually grow and where it will grow. Now, after your body is finished growing, which given they are all adults, they should pretty much be done with this whole process. The Hox genes will functionally switch off, and should they turn back on
Cancer?
for any particular reason, this could actually result in the formation of new limbs on your old limbs, which is not something you want. Now, you might see kind of one of the benefits of turning them back on if you lose a limb. If we are somehow able to reactivate Hox genes in that area, it could be possible to regrow limbs. But that technology is probably, I'm gonna go ahead and say like 50 to 100 years out. But what we
Oddly enough, I did hear about a thing talking about, like Japan is working on some kind of, product that will make you regrow your teeth. So, yeah, that would be really cool. And also, I think they're trying to work on some kind of, like, genetic thing for regrowing limbs and stuff. So, I think, how old is this video? Depending on how old this video is, the time is coming closer and closer to now. With all the advancements and stuff. There's nothing that can logically explain it. Oh, I already read that.
we appear to have here is a gene contamination
Also,
issue. The
that's
Hox
a
genes
whole
of the sheep
car, Cas9 and Cypher 2.0. Don't know what those are.
have transferred to the human via a bite. Once in the cell, they actually alter the cellular function and induce bone growth as well as hair growth. We will see that these Hox genes are not in complete control, however, and the human genome is still very much so at play here. But now the question becomes, how exactly are these genes implanted and how are they cured? Well, implanting of the genes is not likely the issue here. As far as I can tell, given how slow the spread of the bite is, or at least the symptoms caused by the bite, this appears to be taking really a hot minute. However, this could just be a bias I have with most movies I cover, because like, let's say you take a virus, for instance. In zombie viruses, it takes like seconds or minutes, but not hours. But in reality, with viruses, they're just not as quick as you might think. But we're gonna cover all of this here in a moment. The sheep then attack.
Okay, so realistically, if there ever was a zombie outbreak, we would all be screwed because it would be happening very, very slowly, and we wouldn't be able to tell who's infected and who's not. You could be infected right now and not know. I think that was kind of similar to what they were comparing to with like COVID at one point, saying like someone can have it without knowing they have it, kind of thing. Or Craig, about regrowing teeth, going to be that one character in One Piece. Which one? If we're gonna talk about let's see, we're talking about Law? We're talking about the Opie fruit? Maybe.
Attack as the group flees to the lab. The quadruped then hops the fence while they lock themselves in. Tucker thought this was all just harmless biofarming, and maybe they were just playing with sperm in here. Maybe some weird sheep IVF. These are his words. So they find that one of the sheep is then hung up and is very much so undead, which tries to bite them again. Angus then shows up like it's agricultural science, bro, as a scientist then injects Tucker with something. Henry and Crystal Chick back out as Angus then fails to shoot them because he doesn't want to take out his own brother. Outside, sheep begin to swarm them. They shut the gate, but my god, the sheep are coming from inside the building. They find a mangled
Oh my god! I'm sorry, I cannot see sheep running at us as something scary. It just looked adorable. I wanted to go hug them. Oh, Nami York, that bad guy shark. Oh, okay, I know, the fishman. Right. I thought you were talking about someone having the ability to Okay, yeah, okay, I see what you're saying, I was thinking that you meant, like, regrowing someone else's teeth, not your own teeth. But yeah, Arlong. Arlong's what you're referring to then. Yeah, COVID was a zombie apocalypse, kind of. Unless we all have the COVID strand still inside us, and it's slowly going to mutate our bodies into something else. Ooh, spooky, spooky. All for entertainment purposes only. Don't at me. No. Cypher is the tech where we figured out how to more easily edit genes. Oh yeah, all the thanks to little protein. Oh yeah, gene editing. Right. Managed to make it to as kittens. Oh yeah, right. Trying to make the cat women. Trying to make Catwoman. Alaska would be the first to fall. Oh, yeah. Arlong. Yeah, from One Piece. That's what Lord Fartquake was talking about, regrowing teeth. We will protect Alaska. Nyah. Cat girls win. This... Lots of fun there. Firstly, sooner than you think.
Scientist and realize the sheep didn't attack Angus for some reason. Henry then rips up the check and says he has no deal, and then throws it at him as he falls into the gross, fleshy pit.
Ew.
Angus then yanks the crystal chicken after him because he's falling. Way to go, bro. As back in the lab, Angus dips his hand in a sheep container. Did he have to do that? I don't know. Meanwhile, the sheep retrieval crew is getting absolutely wrecked, and they've all been eaten, bummer, as Tucker's foot is diagnosed as spontaneous cellular transfer. When Angus shows up, she then jabs his wound with a Q-tip while covering Tucker up to not alert Angus, which, I mean, why? So, let's talk about spontaneous cellular transfer. What is that? Well,
I'm sorry, this right here, it looks like the foot is cupping her tit. I'm a pervert. I heard cat girls. What now? Speaking of kittens, have you heard of the glow-in-the-dark kittens? Oh yeah, it's similar to what they did with like the glow-in-the-dark fish, and glow-in-the-dark frogs and stuff. You can buy glow-in-the-dark fish. See the elective apocalypse take out a chat first. We all get taken out by the sheep first.
It appears as though literal sheep cells
sheep
are being
people.
transferred to whoever is bitten. But
wait. Why cat girls? How about sheep girls? How do we feel about sheepy girls? Goat man. No, goat man. Yeah, be a goat girl.
how is this even possible? Well, first things first, this is actually incredibly easy, but it seems like there may be a different process happening here. We typically call cells that are spreading to where they shouldn't be cancer, which, as we all know, cancer is a baby-back biological bitch. Metastasizing is what cancer cells are known for, but as we may guess, this would take months, if not years, to present as an actual issue. So,
okay, so we're comparing this mutation to akin to cancer. I guess that would be the closest thing that would do, but it has to be a type of cancer that completely change your structure into another creature, which I don't think cancer's capable of that. I'm fine with sheep girls. Honestly, prefer rat mouse girls. Really? That's an interesting choice. The shark fishman who had the saw nose. Yeah. That's right. Can I have a tomboy goat girl? Why are you asking for me?
Are the sheep cells cancerous? It is highly unlikely, but instead, I believe something else may be taking place. Although they are growing, they would be using nutrition, so maybe they could be considered to be a form of cancer, but they're not putting so much pressure on the body that it's essentially killing anybody. but it is turning them into were-sheep. So as the person is bitten, it seems to me what has actually happened is a form of like fertilization, you could call it somewhat. It's about to get a little out there, but as far as I can tell, this is not a virus. It's not a parasite or bacterial in nature. It really does appear to be a union of sheep and human cellular function. So here we go. Essentially, due to the knowledge that we will learn later, the sheep are attacking and they do have human DNA in them. Yes, for reasons that you think. Again, someone check on New Zealand. Because of how they gain this information through gene editing and a combination of the fucking genome,
sheep.
It appears as though the sheep cells can now functionally adhere to human cells that they come into contact with. In the human body, this is accomplished by cellular junctions, which actually hold the cells together like glue. Desmosomes, in particular, are of area of great importance, allowing for structural integrity to be maintained. The spontaneous cellular transfer would mean that they are in fact cells from the sheep entering the body, and then once this is accomplished, they adhere utilizing the same junctions that their own cells code for, making them compatible with human cells. However, for one reason or another, the cells of the sheep are now more invasive. You could almost think of them like sperm cells, essentially, which is referenced throughout the movie. It seems that...
It is? Sperm sheep. Sheep sperm. Genetic engineering reminds me of Gotcha movie? Don't know what that is. I mean, it's a form of cancer's growth that causes people to start actually, that reminds me of there's a type of cancer that grows that it'll grow teeth. Yeah, it'll grow like teeth and stuff inside you. So it'd be kind of like a parasitic twin kind of thing, except it's cancer. The cancer cells would grow but okay, what I'm getting at is how do you get sheep cancer? Regardless, if you were infected with sheep cancer, what would be the logicness of that would cause it to grow so quickly, as well as mutate you into sheep stuff? This is hard to try to real world think how possible things could do.
Once these cells enter the body, they forcibly attach to the human cells, where a form of genetic coding is disseminated into the other cell. Very likely, this genetic coding is going to be mRNA. mRNA on its own, or messenger ribonucleic acid, would not alter the actual genome of a human, so it does not enter the nuclear envelope, but instead, it would be read by the human cell as protein structures to build from it. This to me seems like the most clear example of what's happening, given that the cure we will see later is able to fix pretty much everything. This is also supported by the fact that while phenotypic traits form, they can be reversed, and the cells themselves will still maintain some human functions, given the genome they already have in the body is still functional. So nobody actually fully transformed.
What I'm getting at is, there would be no way that transformation would happen so rapidly, within that guy's foot. I don't feel like the foot would just, like that, turn into a sheep foot. Hello. Whoa, nerd stuff. Nerd stuff? Yeah, kind of.
Into a sheep, but instead they remain a hybrid. This is further supported by the observation that it spreads rather slowly at first and gives the person a fair amount of time before displaying the full-blown symptoms that we will see later. Also, it should be noted that the immune system becomes involved, indicating the body is aware of a foreign pathogen in its midst, but it cannot be overcome. Down in the pit, Henry and Crystal squish their way through the viscera tunnels as sheep begin jumping down in after them. Henry then boosts her through the opening as he...
Also, how would this sheep cancer be passed through a bite? So it'd be the saliva of the sheep entering the body that would form this weird sheep cancer that grows so quickly that it can mutate the body instantly. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, that's an interesting taste. I respect that. Yep. Good question. Next question.
He tells her to just relax as she's,
Oh, no.
why is everybody farting? Anyways,
What?
so
Farting?
getting out of the tunnel, the light is shining bright enough that they
Hey,
can
it's
see that the sheep is right behind
sheep.
him. As then he lights
Burn
light
the
to
sheep.
seal it up. She now
No.
thinks his aura
As a
is
fire
actually
sheep.
not selfish, which wow, what an improvement. And then back at the manor, Mrs. Mack is cooking when Angus stumbles in looking a little rough. He grumbles about his brother being a bastard, which can't be good, when talking to himself, indicating that he is in fact changing. Meanwhile, Henry and Crystal emerge from the cave as then they
I think I was the mouse, Sherlock Holmes cartoon. I forgot. Oh, the Mouse Detective. I remember that. Blamed it. I don't think, certainly, pretty sure that would spread from the wound and blood system. So, yeah, points. Oh, by the way, hello, Lazark Pally. Okay, hi, welcome. By the way, I'm bad with names. There was a movie of that.
They clean up, but as they do, they hear shears. Grant has gone full resident sheeple. Also, Meter's still running, by the way. Getting scared up on, Henry then fights Grant with the shears and gets absolutely rocked at first as Crystal Chick is able to confuse Grant by suggesting that he's been eating meat, which gives them enough time to barely trap him in the barn. Henry then connects the dot, which is bitten equals infected. Tucker's next up on the changing list, and back in the lab, he has begun transforming, saying his skin is itching and getting tighter. At the event, the taxi guy is still waiting, and he doesn't care because he's getting paid, as the sheep then pops out raptor style, and Tucker goes full lamb.
Oh, dang.
Tight-lipped science woman then injects him with the lamb juice, which apparently cures his sheepism. She then heads off
Hey,
to
she
the
got the
same
cure.
Angus because that's her employer. But why exactly is this able to happen? Well, the best I can figure is given that the sheep cells are attaching to human cells and then passing along mRNA in order to alter the behavior of the human cells, there must be specific markers of the sheep cell that are being targeted. And I can hear you now. Roanoke, how do you know all that? Well, the immune system is responding to a pathogen as it has detected. As a result, it is finding non-self markers on the cell surface.
I can get this logic. I can get behind this logic. The main question that keeps bubbling in my brain, how is this transformation happening so quickly, and then just as quickly as it came with this cure, it goes away just as quickly? How does a mutation just do that? I don't feel like that should be a thing. I need a reasoning for this mutation happening so quickly. That's what I want. If you just call me doctor. Hello, doctor. Doctor, I have a poison in my veins. Will you suck it out? I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Poison ivy, I'm loving the sheep puns. Bye. Oh, so how much did you smoke to come up with the what's behind this? Yeah, what did they smoke to create this? God, this isn't even the weirdest B-movie video I've ever heard of, too. I think the turkey one's even weirder. Poison Ivy's such a good character. Yeah, I like her.
Triggering it to respond with fever, sweating, macrophages like T cells, NKT cells, which naturally kill cancer cells. Basically, the whole body is freaking out. So this fluid likely targets those same cellular markers that are only present on the hybrid sheep cells and not on the human cells. By injecting it, those cells are likely forced to enter apoptosis as a result, thus causing them to completely melt within the body and stop influencing the human cells. At the event, Angus is mid-speech and clearly mutating. Meanwhile, the sheep ambush the Matrix-looking lady in a mud pit as this just becomes complete Jurassic Park style, given all the plants in the background, which, man, the callbacks in this movie are crazy. I think it rips her head off from the sounds of it, as then in the shipping container, a very majestic sheep is released.
A sheep. Okay, picturing a sheep ripping off someone's head, that is hilarious to me. Why can't you fight the sheep? Punch it in its sheepy face.
It bleats as the whole countryside then bleats back. Suddenly, sheep storm the event like
He
woolly
called-
zombies as everyone then is torn apart, including
Yay!
the poor taxi guy. At least the
Sheep
meter's finally
death.
been forgiven. Angus now flees, hand now fully hoofed as chaos then erupts. Mac then rescues Henry and Crystal Chick as Angus then crashes into a sheep and limps home with his other prize sheep. At the manor, Grant
Aw,
invades
prize sheep.
as Mrs. Mac throws down while Henry hits him with basically the haggis. Crystal then stabs him with the chopsticks, saying she either triggered paralysis.
Wait! They threw haggis at the sheep! That's a great insult to the sheep. Here, have some sheep stomach. Oh damn, we're out of ideas from oh yeah, were sheep. The irony is not lost on me. This is basically an inverse of werewolf. What did he smoke and where did he get it? I need the hookup.
Or a coma because it's an acupuncture point. Gotta love the holistic combat. As night falls, sheep gather outside as they barricade the house, and Angus is also inside with them, pantsless, smoking.
Why is he
like it's a
pantsless?
standard Tuesday evening. Please,
Where'd
Australia,
your pants go?
you are the closest. You need to go check on New Zealand. Henry then finds him and demands answers. Angus
First question, where's your pants?
reveals he added human DNA to create the perfect sheep. And yes, allegedly in that way. And also, this is apparently their brother, which is how they were able to interact with human cells in the first place. But the sheep are now breaking in. Henry then hands Angus the handheld and walks away. As
Wait. Is that why it's the prize sheep of the brother? Because he fooked the sheep? Sheep fucking yay. Is that why he has no pants on right now? He wanted to get one last sheep fooked in before he gets killed. Uh-huh. The sheep ate his pants. Oh, that's an option too.
the walls begin to break down, entering the next room and shutting the door, everyone who was bitten is now back up, having been transformed into a sheep. Looking out and seeing this, yeah, that's horrifying.
So many
Angus begins
sheep.
leaving as Henry realizes he's been bitten by Grant. Well, this is pretty bad. Heading to the car, Mrs. Mac then gives him the pellet dispenser to stop Angus as Crystal Chick then kisses him. Putting on a wool cover, this is not necessary at all as he begins crawling through
Oh
as
my
one
God.
begins humping him, but in reality, he's
Nope, I feel like this is made by the same person who made that weird turkey horror B movie. Of course, we get the sheep. Okay, the sheep's fucking you now. In Russia, sheep fuck you. Please, someone nuke New Zealand.
He's already been bitten, so the sheep really just kind of leave him alone. He then stabs the sheep in the crotch with the golden shears, and everyone then goes back to eating. His bite means, again, they really don't care. Driving through, Crystal Chick then starts doming were sheep as Angus gets to the plane. Going back and grabbing his prize sheep, he then starts transforming as his time limit has been reached. His teeth begin to fall out as anatomically he begins to change. As
Why?
Henry then enters the barn, Angus begins his attack, having mostly converted into were sheep. Slamming Henry against the wood, he then stabs him with the golden shears as he starts going full on.
Wait, why do they have golden shears? So gold is the were-sheep's kryptonite here instead of silver. Okay, I see what the movie's doing. They're doing an inverse. They're doing an inverse. Instead of werewolves, we get were-sheep, and instead of it being weak to silver, it's weak to gold. Okay. There are the many B movies that are like this movie. Yeah. I've seen
Sheep
some.
with his maxilla expanding outwards and his hair production increasing. The plane at this point breaks free of its blocks as Shangus squares up with Henry. The dog from
Shangus.
earlier then starts
Doggy!
just kind of hurting Angeep, which does work. The plane then moves back.
The weakness to the sheep is a dog. No, the sheep don't bite dog. We don't get a dog were-sheep. The dogs beat the sheep. Okay, we got some rock, paper, scissors power here. Oh, hello, Gold. Hi.
Back around as it then turns in
Ironically.
shredding him in the process. Also, Henry's wound has begun sprouting hairs. So here's the breakdown of this process as I believe it. As the cells are attached, they are releasing mRNA into the next sheep, which contain the information coding for the Hox genes. This
I like
is
the
immediately interpreted by
I like how the human sheep are just eating other people. The normal sheep are just hanging out with them. Why does this look so stupidly funny?
the human cell as functionality begins to change. With this altered, bones will begin growing, driven by this new information. Now, would it happen so quickly? No. Bones take forever to grow and heal.
Yeah,
Especially
that's
heal
what I
takes
was
about 6 to
saying.
8 weeks, depending on the break. Like I guess said, try breaking a bone, and you'll see what I mean. So,
Yeah.
barring the time frame, the genome of the sheep itself is affecting the human gene expression via mRNA transfer between the two cells, given their close proximity to one another. It should also be noted that the sheep cells are continuing to divide inside of the body, adhering to more and more human cells as time goes on. And as this happens, it will actually kickstart the rapid growth once a tipping point is reached through the direction of the sheep cells, making them look sheep-like. However, long bones and structures appear to still stay relatively in their same orientation, giving us a bipedal were-sheep. And there is a statement I thought I'd never say. However, sheepus ain't down yet, as Tucker then shows
So, I'm guessing the sheep disease affects people differently, okay? And for whatever reason, the mutation's very rapid and very quick. Lovely. Human is less than sheep. Doggo is greater than sheep. Human is greater than doggo. Yeah, rock, paper, scissors. Fun! So send an army of dogs against all the sheep. Yeah, that's how we win. I worry for Rockua? Ronica? I don't know who that is.
up and hits him with the amniotic fluid, as this gives Henry some pause, which then he gets some as well, and that cures him. Also, why the mouth?
Heals.
It did end up curing Angus, but he's completely tore up from the plane. Tucker then takes
Ow.
off as they go to cure all the other sheep of their violent tendencies. Also, they're continuing to fart a lot, and for some reason, Angus is back up,
Fucking
and
sheep.
he just is like walking to the sheep barn saying, "Take me back," as then they immediately go straight for the crotch. Oh my god! So he's torn apart in the worst way, as then they keep farting, which
I'm sorry, there was a lot of weird things. When he says farting, does he mean fooking? By chance, or are the sheep literally farting a bunch? And lesson here. Don't have a sheep fetish. Okay. That's some weird stuff. Oh, no. I'm worried. Yeah, maybe both. Where's the flamethrowers? That's a good question.
with that much methane, Henry decides to just
There's
light them
some
all
fire.
up. and
Yes,
start from
yes,
scratch
there you go.
instead Of saving them, so he just
There you go. We blew him up. There. Instead of a flamethrower, we blew him up. You got your wish, Iron John. They are for... They are... Okay, so yeah, that makes sense why they exploded now. All the sheep farts.
blows up the barn with all the sheep in it. Curing all the sheeple later, Crystal
Now
Chick
the
then
virus is
hands
spread
them
by the
organic
air.
farming
Congratulations.
pamphlet as Grant is healed. Oh, thank God. Mrs. Mack then feeds them mountain rock, or Rocky Mountain oysters, I believe it is, as Crystal Chick remarks that she does eat seafood, but
Oh, no. Who here in chat knows what Rocky Mountain oysters are? I like this, because if I remember correctly, this dumb bitch is like a vegan or something. Or a vegetarian. Bull balls. Yep. So, yay, she's eating meat, and she doesn't realize it. Ha ha. Everyone knows. Dumb bitch is eating meat. Specifically
This is sheep
balls.
Curing everyone, they still have sheep tendencies, and all's well that ends well, with the dog watching over the farm, as then he bleats because he's been infected. Lastly, what's up
No! The doggy bleeped! The dog is a sheep's!
lingering tendencies. Well, it appears once the sheep behavior works its way into the neuronal space, this may be a little more difficult to get rid of because of the actual neurological connections that have been made to behave this way. So even once the sheep cells are gone, the reality is the patterns of behavior may still persist after the fact, as you would have to undo those dendritic connections.
So if you get the sheep disease, your brain, even when you're cured, your brain will be left retarded. Or should I say sheep-tooted? Yeah. Wolf in sheep's clothing, huh? Yepper. I've never had oysters. Good. You don't want these ones. They're bull testicles. Oh no, the next movie, the dog apocalypse begins. Dog sheep apocalypse.
Formed during sheephood, but now thus concludes Black Sheep. But anyhow, I want to thank you guys for watching. I'll drop all my
Thank you for joining me for this video. Thank you, Rayleigh, for all your suggestions. Yeah, bye. Alright, moving on to our next suggestion. Luckily, the last ones are a little shorter. Okay, I think, if I remember correctly, this video was suggested to us by Loco. I believe. I feel like. Could be wrong, could be right. Someone help me. It was a dark and stormy night. Hi, my baby boos out there. I'm your goddess Nazca, here with another chat suggestion. Smack Talk, Beauty and the Beastly? Yeah? I hope you like the palette chaser. Palette cleanser. Yay. Let's go.
Yeah, this isn't Snapchat.
Puppets.
This is Grindr. Yeah, that explains a few things. Well, let's check the YouTube comments. I'm a fan. You have...
I'm a fan. You have a new sub. Now do a review on Beauty and the Beast. Oh, this is a review thing, huh? Okay. Yeah.
have a new sub. Now do a review of Beauty and the Beast.
Great review.
Oh, I see. That's how it is it? Professor Tosspot is a dancing monkey. Yeah. So let me get this straight. You want me to watch a crap movie, waste hours of my life, and sit through god-awful music numbers, and...
Oh my. Okay. Snack talk. Okay, so, this I'm guessing is not gonna be the Disney Beauty and the Beast. I wonder what version of Beauty and the Beast he's gonna be talking about. I've actually seen so many different types. Cool. Oh, it's this channel. This channel's gonna end up... I don't know why Loco has a, way of choosing videos for me that are gonna end up getting, copyrighted something or other. Not the striked one, but definitely is gonna take down stuff. I'm betting.
then tell you what I think at the end of the ordeal, and you want me to do all of this sober?
Yes.
It's compromise.
Yes, Grandpa Puppet.
I can quit any time I want.
Drunk Addiction Edition, nice. Beaten
Beauty and the
boozers.
Beast came out this year, and yes, I'm late to the...
Oh, this is the live action movie. I actually kind of liked it. It wasn't terrible compared to some of the more bleh. This was definitely one of the good live actions, if you can call it that. It's definitely better than all the other stuff that they've been showing, so yeah. I guess it's gonna be a Disney live action movie version. Yep, you won. Congratulations, you won.
Party, bite me. A viewer wanted a review, and who am I to deny them that?
Oh yeah, it said
I am
2017
but a
right there.
humble shiflinger. Disney seems to be churning out these really bad live-action reboots of their classic animated movies. This isn't my first rodeo. I saw The Jungle Book last year.
Ugh.
Fuck me, was that bad. Now,
I actually took the time to sit through the Little Mermaid one, and even as just background noise, it was annoying. Like, I was barely paying attention to it. It really was just bleh. Ugh. Yeah, the live actions are sad. I guess really one of the, let's see, who here is familiar with the 101 Dalmatians live action they had a long time ago? There was that. And I guess Alice in Wonderland counts, even though it's completely different from the cartoon. Never saw it. That was okay. Let's go with, you Smash the Beast or Gaston. If I said Beast, is that gonna say anything about me?
When you think Jungle Book, you think of happy things and nice song and dance moments. Instead, we got CGI animals beating the shit out of each other.
Oh, don't worry, I saw it for free. I didn't waste money on that. I did my pirate duty. I just wanted to see what it was like. It was bad.
Holy fuck! True story. When I went...
Let's go like that. But I am. I never lied about being a furry. Yeah. I'm a furry Articuno. Yeah. Or a chocobo. I could be a chocobo. Yeah.
To see this in the cinema, every kid was crying, and it wasn't because I was hitting on their slutty moms. No, it was because the tone was fucking grim. Musical numbers were pretty much non-existent too, and which habitual retard at Disney thought having Christopher Walken sing was a genius idea? Stuff of nightmares. Oh, and Idris Elba is in it too. In the year 2025, every film will feature Idris Elba, and he will play every part. So here I am again on my own, watching another live-action regurgitation. I avoided this one like the plague because it stars Emma Watson as Belle, and she gave me a raging red flag.
To be fair, I'm not familiar with people as celebrities. It was just something random that we decided to go to because, I don't know, I guess I liked Beauty and the Beast, and it was okay. It didn't butcher it like other live-action movies butchered their originals. I also really liked that they put this one Beast song that was not in the animated version. That was really pretty. I liked that. Oh, an Articuno. No. Yes, I'm a shiny Articuno. I refuse to watch the live action. They are not so great. Yeah. I would not suggest any of them, that's for sure, so I would not suggest you to watch any of them. I'm just saying, I found this one to be the least offensive.
Reserved judgment initially, but then I saw trailers, and I heard her sing. But hey, sweet liquor eases the pain, and so I sat through all of this. Honestly, why Emma Watson? I know she can draw in a crowd because she was in Harry Potter,
okay.
But I think she's yet to perform a proper standout role, and I think she'll be cursed for the rest of her adult life to be known only as Hermione. That hasn't stopped her from trying to break out. She
could have been worse.
Films, but
so
never
at
really
least they
popped,
didn't
like
massacre
the
it
circle
too
where she looked
horribly.
awkward and confused every bastard waking moment. And
Okay.
she played a wallflower one time, or that really weird film in which she played a feminism who goes to the UN to tell them how she knows a lot about women's rights because she played a wizard in a children's movie.
I'm guessing this was not a movie performance. Oh god, stop with the feminism bullshit.
And has lots of money. I don't think they really cared. I think it was to make the UN look like it's sympathetic to women, even though UN peacekeepers like having sex with the locals they're meant to serve and protect. Apparently, a food ration pack can get you quite the beach. Anyway, what was I talking about? My liver hurts.
My liver
Anyway,
hurts.
Beauty and the Beast. You've seen this movie before, only it has real people with really punchable faces. It has the same plot as the fairy tale and the animated movie, so the writers had more time to jack off.
Yeah, true. The writers didn't have to do too much. The only thing I liked is how they recycled a cut Beast song into it. That was really cool. Oh, she was Hermione. Yeah, I had no idea either. This one, my. Yeah, okay, yeah, I thought it was yours, Loco. I'm glad I said correctly.
You know this story, but we start with Prince Charming inspecting his multicultural harem, followed by a bit of elder abuse.
Why does he
Jokes
look
on
so
him
weird?
As the acid kicks in and she goes nuclear and curses the prick with excessive hairiness. If this was set in Turkey, he'd fit right in. But it's France, and only the women are allowed to be hairy. Anyway, Disney Castle doesn't pay its bills and goes into administration, and Beastie Boy and his dick friends are left alone to rot. Movie starts proper and it...
Yeah, that's the sucky part. All of his staff gets cursed too, and it's like, we had nothing to do with this. We weren't assholes. We were just employed here. Haha.
Twee fairy tale medieval village with happy smiles and no syphilis or smallpox to bugger up your day. Enter Emma, I need a paycheck Watson, and her smiley carefree demeanor, and we get our first eardrum rape. After
Eardrum
bleeding
rape.
from our ear holes, we see that this guy wants to get into her chastity belt. Emma
Of
declines
course.
him because he seems like a sleazy fucker who might try to stick a sneaky finger in her bum. Tell he's the type. Belle goes home.
I feel like the guy playing Gaston didn't ham it up enough. I felt like there should have been more ham in Gaston's character. If I were to say Gaston is a himbo, but he is a nega himbo. He is a bad himbo. He is the bad kind of himbo. He's stupid, but he's a douche. Emma Watson has not been in movies for a while, if I remember right. Maybe this was probably her last one. Who knows?
To her depressing father and asks if she's odd because the village thinks she's really
Well, to be
weird
fair
for reading
to the
books
kids,
and...
only got punished because he did not let a stranger into the house. Yeah, right. The son of Mrs. Potts, little boy, gets cursed too because he just happens to live here. Yeah, that was very douchey, Miss Angel Fairy, whatever you actually were.
Singing like crap. No, my dear, you're as boring as dry toast. Odd would be
Gaston
running
came
around
off
smearing
as
shit
the
all the
good
walls
guy
in a wedding
in the
dress.
version
I'd
of
pay
The
to see
Beauty and
that
the
movie.
Beast.
Anyway, Daddy goes
Yeah,
off
he
to get her
kinda
a rose
did.
for some sort of incestuous tradition, and Gaston acts really rapey, and there's more stupid fucking songs. Kill me!
Besides that part.
The audience are falling asleep, so it's time for grim dark fantasy, complete with CGI wolves. Belle's daddy runs away from ones and zeros and finds himself at Tim Burton's house, only to get cornered by the Beast for some dry-ass butt fucking. Even though the creepy castle is lost and forgotten, Belle finds it in 2 minutes, and then does her best Hermione acting. Belle does a crap job of hostage negotiation for her father, and it all goes tits up.
Yeah. I'll trade my daddy for... okay, it's like this. She looks at the boys and she's like, ooh, hey, how about this? Instead of having my daddy, how about you have me?
Belle finds herself held captive in a mansion with a very hairy, ugly man. At first, I thought she'd been trafficked, but apparently that's not the case. I was disappointed that Liam Neeson didn't show up to kick sex trafficker ass. God,
Yeah.
I Taken.
Aw.
The
remember
village
Taken.
people continue their lives with shit songs and homoeroticism. We also find out
yeah.
that Gaston spits instead of swallows, just so you know. Thankfully, Belle's dad finds the only gay bar in the village and begs for burly Gaston and his butt-plug friend to...
Oh yeah, if I remember correctly, they did kind of have it in the live action that the friend was into Gaston. So he was the gay, like Hassan.
help find his daughter. Then he punches him and turns into a psychopath for quick character development. Meanwhile, Hermione gets good and acquainted with Stockholm Syndrome and the
Yay.
tortured souls who inhabit inanimate objects. Horny ones at that. Look at that disturbed clock face. Bet he's seen some shit. Where are the bodies hidden, you prick? You know,
The moral
malevolent.
of Beauty and the Beast story is let strangers in to your home to get everyone in the house cursed. That could be a really good horror movie. Dude, someone should turn Beauty and the Beast into like a legit horror movie.
Being who curses people so they get their just desserts and learn a lesson at the start. Well, why did that glowing gypsy curse a child? Fucking
Yeah.
cool, bitch. Yeah, but these self-serving assholes just want the curse lifted on them by getting the beast's dick wet. Sorry, they want to use the power of love to bring wholesomeness and family values to the Disney Corporation. Buy a t-shirt.
Yay.
After some more songs,
Disney propaganda.
CGI Wolves getting curb stomped to fuck, and Emma Watson patented pouty squinty acting, she falls in love with the beast, despite her lack of
The lovely CG. God, that looks bad. My horns look better than his. So most of the story is the stranger. Yep.
chemistry. It also helps that he owns some really good real estate.
CGI
I ain't
face.
saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with... Yeah, you know how the rest of the song goes. However, Gaston is trying to section Belle's father under the Mental Health Act to further his dickish persona. Belle shows up with a magic mirror that freaks the peasants out. Yeah, smooth
show 'em
move,
the beast,
dipshit.
yeah.
While a good old-fashioned lynching mob is coming
Kill
their
the
way,
beast.
Belle tries to
Kill the
resolve the
beast.
daddy issues in the back of a cart. Finally, we got some siege warfare up in this bitch. And as to be
This part was
expected,
pretty cool.
We got a full-on CGI.
I think one of the reasons, probably the only reason, why the live action Beauty and the Beast was remotely good was because of its source material was really good. I mean, not to be mean to Little Mermaid as well as like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, those stories were not as entertaining and fun as Beauty and the Beast, if you want to compare them, you know? Yeah. So many Disney live action movies has had bad CGI. Oh, yeah. Yeah. This one I can give a little bit of break because at least it's a lot older than the other ones.
battle sequence, which looks like a fucked up brawl at IKEA. Belle runs back
Fucked
to
up
the
brawl at
beast
IKEA.
after leaving him with blue balls, just in time for more grim, dark CGI action. Belle watches her
Yeah.
hairy lover get shot while Gaston just falls off a bridge. I thought the French knew parkour. It's all kind of anticlimactic, but you got to have it end with the schmaltzy love stuff. The power of fine British puss is strong enough to bring you back from the dead and turn you...
I learned something. I got a fine British push so I can bring people back from the dead. Oh no. I got 50% fine British puss. Oh, so
into a young
dumb.
Mozart. Beauty and the Beast live in opulent wealth while the peasants stay poor and illiterate, and the rich fuckers
Yay.
continue their extravagant parties that got
And
them
we
cursed
learned
in the first
nothing.
place. Lessons learned, huh? The cursed objects return to normal, albeit with PTSD, and the palace restored on a foundation made on Gaston's corpse. Happy ever after, my ass.
Wait, how messed up do you think Chip is after being cursed to be a teacup for who knows how long? Did they ever specify how long the Beast and his court were transformed into these objects and monster? Was that ever told in Beauty and the Beast? I don't remember. It would have been funny when the Beast turned back into a human. He was still but oh wait, you're right. They changed that. You're right. In the original cartoon, he was like supposed to be a child or something. In the movie here, he was already a full-grown adult. Wait. Then that doesn't make sense for Chip. Unless the difference is why Chip got to stay a child was because of him being an inanimate object, and inanimate objects don't age. But while he was the Beast, he was still like animals, and animals are allowed to age. Is that the reasoning here? I'm confused now. No, they did not. I'm confused.
2 hours gone, but it had nice visuals. Good
I thought it
performances
was because
from
Chip was
everyone,
a
but
cub and they didn't age. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is that why? But the Beast was still able to age with his monstrous transformation, and because and everyone that was turned into inanimate objects, they didn't age. They all stayed the same age. But the Beast was able to age under the curse. I guess. That's all I can understand.
And I got through half my wine cellar. Despite their flaws, these Disney live-action reboots are successful and provide horrific merchandise opportunities. Fuck.
Why did they make the head so freakishly huge? That is the scariest Barbie I've ever seen.
Me sideways. So, this is what Emma Watson spliced with Rocky Dennis looks like. 5 head
Oh
for
God.
days. Still, this movie made a shit ton of moolah this year. Gonna be a lot of caviar and Philippine.
Yeah, to be fair, like I said, the Beauty and the Beast live action was the only decent one that was part of this whole doody-doo that they did, and it just kept getting worse and worse and suck and suck. Well, mouse. Cute. Oh, still some more.
Rent boys at the shareholders meeting. No, I don't have a clip for that.
Fox.
Rumor has it there's more reboots of Disney classics coming our way. We
Yep.
got Mulan getting live action because
Live action Mulan, bad. Could have been good, but bad. Because they butchered it. They took the soul out of it. Even more so than any other. This was 7 years ago, so...
Disney needs the Asian market badly. There's also a lot.
Live action Lion King, bad. There's nothing live action about it. They just made all the pretty 2D animation into 3D animation. Suck. Oh, live action Mulan was bad.
Live action version of The Lion King. How's that gonna work? Just show actual animals and dub voices over them? And Aladdin.
Live action Aladdin, bad. Again, potential that was butchered. What'd they do to the genie? I wonder. I'll really wonder if Robin Williams was still alive. Do you think they would have actually casted him as the live action genie? That would have actually been pretty cool if they did. But unfortunately he passed. So yeah. That's all CG. CG bud at that. He had he made one of Mulan 2. Oh my goodness. Ugh.
Is gonna get a big reboot up there.
Change the story.
Probably look like this, but with lots of magic carpet bombing.
Arabian! Yay! I'm sorry. That's funny. That's a good one. No, it looked nothing like that. It was, yeah.
It's a script. Will Smith is
love
gonna
good
play the
writing.
genie because they already
Yeah.
used Idris Elba in the Jungle Book. Step up your game, Hollywood. So, this is modern cinema for the next decade. Reboots and mushing shit together and saying it's new and fresh.
Right.
Disney is the worst offender. They own Marvel, Star Wars, and your childhood dreams. And if it was up to them, they would have monopoly on all films. Thankfully.
Yeah. I remember a trucker man told me this at one point. I don't remember where this information came from, but at one point Disney tried to buy Sailor Moon, I think, and they said no, and I'm happy. I'm happy they said no. I feel bad for Studio Ghibli being connected to Disney. I swear, anything that Disney touches turns to shit. It's the Disney curse now. I mean, look at Lilo and Stitch movie. Everything Disney touches turns to shit. And it's making me more and more worried about Kingdom Hearts. I am scared for Kingdom Hearts. Like, Kingdom Hearts 3, I enjoyed the story and stuff, but there was something missing in Kingdom Hearts 3 that made me very, very mad. And if you all know me, you know what the thing was that was missing in Kingdom Hearts 3 that made me mad. Yeah, really? Wow. I'm glad that Sailor Moon said no. Yeah, Disney really wanted Sailor Moon. I'm glad. Sailor Moon does not need to be a Disney princess. Sailor Moon does not need her soul stolen out of her. Disney is literally the Negaforce, and Sailor Moon I'm glad she defeated them. Hooray, Sailor Moon. No FF characters unless you got the... Wait, there was a DLC for... Was there a DLC for Sephiroth? I need to look that up now. Wait. Was Sephiroth in the DLC? Is Sephiroth in the DLC? Is Sephiroth... Tell me, King Triforce, damn it, tell me! Need, does it still around? Can I still buys? I need it! Well, not... Boo! Yes, no? No, yes? I need to look things up? Hello? No? Yes, no to Sephiroth being in Kingdom Hearts 3. Yeah. Maybe Disney gonna buy Warner Brothers. That means they will own DC and so many others things. I wouldn't be surprised at this point, especially because they bought Fox. They own The Simpsons. He's not in Kingdom... Okay, fine. I don't care about the DLC anymore. Nope. I'm good. Thank you. I can calm down now. Yeah.
They don't. But I tell you, Disney, you keep making them, and I'll keep shitting on them.
Yeah.
That's all, folks.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the suggestion, Loco. I hope this one doesn't get taken down. I hope whoever the Smack Talk guy is will not be like, you're using my my video. I'm going to get it taken down. Bwah ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Like the last one. They was for FF characters only showing up in the DC. Okay. No Sephiroth, me no care. You could keep off characters. Okay, we got 2 more. Thank you all for joining me. Please like, subscribe, and comment. It would make me very happy. Kiss, kiss, hug, hug.